triangulation point of an AK-47 vehicle. So this was something, I beg your pardon, an AK-47 gun, a weapon, which was kept here.
The auto rickshaw passenger is the main suspect in the Mangaluru blast case and has been identified as Mohammed Sharik. The accused has previously been booked under the UAPA and was absconding in a terror case. The Karnataka police also said that Sharik worked under multiple handlers. Abdul Mateen Taha was one of the main handlers of Sharik. It is also learned that the Mangaluru accused put on pro-Lashkar graffiti in 2020 in Shivamoga. He was arrested and granted bail after few months. So far, the police have conducted searches at 5 locations across Karnataka, including his home in Mysuru, where materials used to make bombs were seized. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
So what really is the larger game plan here? And is this just the beginning of a lot more sensational details that will begin to tumble out? Just look very closely at this one image on your screens right now as I introduce our entire panel of guests joining us. Captain Ganesh Karnik is spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP and he's joining us along with S.S. Sriram, who's also a political analyst. And we also have Jagdish, who's a political analyst and he leans towards the DMK. Also waiting T.R. Prasad Gowda, the leader of the JDS, who's just going to be joining us in a bit. But first, gentlemen, look very closely at this image of the accused, Sharik. If you've seen actually how the ISIS-style pictures really come out, this has a clear signature of the ISIS style. He's posing with that pressure cooker bomb, that he, I think, himself must have assembled along with his accomplices. And accidentally, and by God's luck, this did not create a havoc that perhaps Sharik and his handlers would have expected. But Captain Ganesh Karnik, I want to ask you, sir, one simple question. This man is booked under 2 cases of UAPA, the very, very stringent UAPA. He travels states, He assembles a bomb, sir, perhaps at his own home. How is it that the state, the agencies, had absolutely no clue?
Good evening to you and good evening to my panelists. Well, this is one incident. Possibly you can ask me this question that why there was no trace. He was arrested earlier. He was out on bail. Of course, without any involvement earlier, I don't think he would have been arrested. The very fact that he was arrested and subsequently released by the court on bail, you must blame the justice system for that. That is one part. Secondly, this is not one stray incident. It is a series of incidents which is happening in Mangalore and in other parts of the country. If you have time, I can just quote down what all has happened in the coastal part of Karnataka, especially in Bhatkal and Mangaluru area, which possibly is an extension of similar activities along the coast of Kerala. As early as 2008, in a place near Ullal, which is a neighboring taluka of Kerala, 5 people were arrested for bomb manufacturing. 2008. In 2013, in a flat in one
Captain
of the localities of Mangalore. Yeah. So I'm just quoting you a series of incidents which have happened.
Yes, sir,
and we have been saying that Mangalore has become a sleeper cell.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that, sir. But my question, sir, before I take it to Jagdish and Mr. Sriram, is very simple. Isn't this an intel failure? Because this man is crossing state lines, he's crossing state boundaries, and look at the grave charges under him. We'll put out that graffiti also. The graffiti that he put out in 2020, sir. I'm sure you must have seen it. If that wasn't a clear warning,
the very fact that you have...
Did the state absolutely ignore that warning, sir?
No, not at all. Because the very fact that you are quoting now, you have got it from the police department only. They had information. He was arrested. Then he was subsequently released on bail, for which you must go and ask the court about this.
But how was he assembling bombs, sir? How is it that the state had no clue about this?
It is coming out one by one. Facts are coming out. I don't use the word there is a intelligence failure. But I agree that we need to further strengthen the intelligence or source of information that we collect. I totally agree with you, but I don't call it because there is a sinister design. It
Okay.
is happening all over the world. It is Islamic radicalization which has spread the tentacles into the nooks and corners of this entire country. And instead of finding fault with the police or investigating agency or whatever it is, I think it is time, cutting across party lines, we should come together, strengthen the investigative agencies, strengthen the information gathering system, and bring them to justice.
Okay.
Now, this is not the time to talk about the failure, I personally feel.
I agree with your latter point, sir. I agree with your latter point. But
Yes.
the point is, sir, even the former point is something which is important. Any state will be held accountable for such a lapse. I mean, these are very obvious questions. But then, because you've laid out your position clear, let me see if we can go to Jagdish, and we are trying to get in T.R. Prasad Gowda also of the JDS, because the JDS has another point of view on the entire story. Now, Jagdish, and then we'll also get in Mr. Sriram, who I think is also with us. To you first, Jagdish.
Yeah.
How do you read into what has happened so far, and the very fact that there are still certain people, there are still certain political parties who are in denial? Why?
Yeah, see, number one, as you said, this is a complete intelligence failure of not just the state government. I would also put it is the failure of NIA as well, because as you mentioned, Coimbatore blast happened on October 23rd, and after 4 days, it was transferred. Tamil Nadu government transferred the case to NIA, and we have been hearing stories that this guy has got links with the Coimbatore terror blast as well, and it goes a long way. He was conducting trials in Shivamogga and so many places. So if the NIA is handling the case from, say, for example, October 27, and it's already November 21, I'm not sure what exactly is the NIA doing, as well as the state government. It is a failure of both the central as well as the state agencies. That's what I would like to say first. If they have been alert, if NIA have been alert, they should have worked with the local intelligence. They should have made sure that this didn't happen. Luckily, in both the instances, be in Coimbatore or in Mangalore, luckily it didn't happen. If something has happened, because in Coimbatore, he was trying to destroy
because Jagdish, you've actually now spoken of the Coimbatore link, and we have an entire graphic that actually tells you why we believe and why the agencies are reading, a common link into what happened in Coimbatore versus what happened in Mangaluru. So I'll just request my producer Raisa to put that out on our screens, and I want to quickly take it to Mr. Sriram also. Mr. Sriram, the point is, whenever it's about standing up in this fight against terror, why does it always become us versus them, a particular state versus the other? Why are people, busy pointing fingers? They do not realize that appeasement is coming at a cost. If you continue to be soft against terror, look at what, this actually could have led to. Had this not perhaps been prevented on time, or if this did not accidentally, blew up in the middle of an auto that Sharik was actually traveling in, Mr. Sriram?
Yeah, good evening. I must agree that the law and order is a state subject, but at least see the contrast in which a Karnataka government which agreed and accepted that it is an act of terror, and they said they are working on, yes, there are lapses on intelligence, I don't deny that, but they were at least honest and transparent enough to tell you that there is a terror attack, which was not the case in Tamil Nadu. They kept on claiming it to be a cylinder blast and nothing more than that. Unless and until Mr. Annamalai had to prove every point that it is much more than just a cylinder blast, post which they were pressurized to get into act. I'm talking about the Tamil Nadu government and the police department. And then they moved in to arrest the concerned culprits because they knew that thereafter they can't cover up the story, which as much as they probably would have thought of. I'm not saying they did, but it needed an opposition party to push them to get this done. At least in Karnataka, the BJP government is honest enough to accept there are lapses, but they accepted that it is a terror attack.
No, but I just disagree with you there, Mr. Sriram. I disagree with you there. The point is, you can obviously have different responses, and that's true. But there are questions that Captain Ganesh Karnik hasn't also answered, because for me as a citizen today, and I have friends, I have a family who stays in Bangalore, in Karnataka, and they today want to know, are they safe? Because you have someone who was booked under the very stringent UAPA twice, not once, twice. He's out on bail, but he's assembling bombs. He's assembling bombs. You know, he travels to Coimbatore. No one gets a whiff of what he's doing. And, you know, Jagdish, you're nodding your head right now because this narrative suits you. But tell me something. Why should it be us versus them always on terror? When it comes to the PFI, do we see all political parties speaking as one? You say there is no ISIS threat in our state.
See, after the, I mean, there could be ties with the PFI. I mean, after the PFI ban, this could be happening, but it is for the NIA or the central agencies has to say that out once the investigation goes on. But what I'm saying is, our governor, R.N. Ravi, he spoke about PFI almost a year back. He said the same PFI is sending terrorists to many countries outside India. And it took almost a year for the central agencies to ban PFI. I don't understand why. They say they have been keeping a watch on PFI for almost 7 years, even before BJP came into power, even when the Congress was in power, they used to keep a watch
But aren't political parties, Jagdish, equally guilty of playing politics with this? And, you know, I am told that you lean towards the DMK. Can you tell me what has the DMK done? Why were you celebrating the release of the former Prime Minister's assassins? I mean, why? Where else does it happen?
First of all, see you. I mean,
because you embolden terrorists. You go soft on terror.
Because, see, wait.
Selective on your terrorism.
When you can't answer me, just don't shift the question. Okay, because you're diverting to a different topic now. Okay, I will answer that too. Don't worry.
No, listen, I don't have to answer any questions. Let me just clear that air for you.
No,
you know, if you think that you will come here and you will ask us questions, we are supposed to answer you wrong.
No, when you're
because it's our job to ask you questions, and we'll ask you questions that will make you uncomfortable. Because you people sit here and you decide and put out a narrative based on your political inclinations. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Before I get in Captain Ganesh Karnik and Sri Ram, Jagdish, let me ask you this again. Why has the DMK celebrated the release of the former Prime Minister's assassins? Why?
See, first of all, this is, I mean, when you say these are convicts, yes, they are convicts. I don't disagree on that. They are convicts. They have spent 30 years in the jail. And the court has acted on the merits of the case. The governor has not acted. The governor has not acted. He has not done his duty. The president has not done his duty. That is why they were
released. So you will look for all alibis, Jagdish. You will look for all alibis. You will look for all alibis. But you will not accept the fact that you choose and select your response. Isn't that true, Sri Ram?
This is about judgment. This is not about
That's what political parties are guilty of. But it's about your approach on dealing with terror. That's exactly what I want to expose. Sri Ram, and then I'll get in Captain Karnik. Sri Ram.
No, absolutely. See, terrorism, either in the past or in the future, one has to look at the same eye. They can't be very selective. Jagdish is quite selective about terrorism. He's not bothered. It was not Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. It's an act against the state of India. So let us not forget that. And here, only in Tamil Nadu, these people are almost projected as heroes. They are not being projected as terrorists. Their moral is being, said they are the best heroes. The welcome is amazing. People just go and love to hug them and throw a shawl at them and celebrate their releases. No matter what it is. It is shameful in Tamil Nadu. Well, I do agree. I never moved out of it. In Karnataka, there could be a lapses in intelligence, but please appreciate the fact that the government communicated very honestly and said it is an act of terror, which was not the case in Coimbatore blast.
I don't know. You know, I don't know what I should be doing. But I feel embarrassed. I feel embarrassed with such a response. And, you know, Captain Karnik, we are also trying to actually get a guest from the JDS because it's important, to, I think, ask every political party, whether it's in Karnataka, whether it's in Kerala, whether it's in Tamil Nadu, because you're looking at a pattern that's begun to emerge. But Captain Karnik, tell me something. The BJP says we are going all out on terror. But why is it that this particular individual is not tracked? There is zero surveillance over him. Isn't that a question that deserves a response? Will heads roll? Will you at least accept that this was an intelligence failure?
I will answer your question. But before that, you must appreciate that I wore uniform for a little while. And I understand the problem of a uniformed force. So there could be lapses. I'm not denying there could be lapses. But you should be talking about rolling the heads of these terrorists who are anti-nationals, which is against the interest of the nation. And this is not just India which is facing this problem. This has been happening for so many years. The political patronage from a political vote bank point of view, we have shied away from calling this Islamic radicalization promoted, terrorism in this country. Let us come out of this confusion. As parties interested with the nation, we all should call terrorism as terrorism and terrorist as a terrorist. Unless you have this political patronage, this wouldn't have come to what it is. And in Bangalore, this is not the first incident. From 2008 till date, I have the list with me. I can quote incidents where families have been arrested, when the NIA has come and
but
arrested.
then Captain Karnik, sir, with all respect to you, all the more reason for the government to be extra careful, to be extra vigilant. That's what I'm saying. When you see that there is an uptick in terror-related activities, particularly in the coastal belt of the state, all the more reason for you to track people like Sharik. How are they allowed to make bombs, assemble bombs? I still don't have an answer to that, but I want to get in Syed. He's just joining us, sir, on the broadcast. I'm going to come back to you, sir.
Don't give
I'll come back to you, sir.
Please, in this debate, being a responsible channel, don't say that is a security lapse. It is more serious offense, and we have to work on it now. Don't give this excuse and don't insult the police force.
Sir, with all due respect,
Of course, there is security lapse.
Sir, with all due respect, we are questioning an MK Stalin who believes that this was not an act of terror. Okay, to him, revising his position later, and we will question the BJP in Karnataka that did nothing, that had zero surveillance over this man.
Why do you call
what's
it
the larger
security
message that goes out? Syed Abbas.
Security labs.
1 second, sir, 1 second. I don't know why you are enraged today. If we'll ask you questions, you shouldn't get enraged. You should be concerned because this is the citizens' voice today. People want to know how is all this happening. He was staying in Mysuru. He travels to Coimbatore. He's there in a lodge, sir. He's crisscrossing state boundaries. He's assembling a bomb. He's getting chemicals. He's getting gelatin. How? That means there was an intelligence failure, sir. But I want to get in Syed Abbas, who's been patiently waiting, and he's coming into the debate late. So I'm going to come back to you, sir. I'm just going to come back to you. But Syed, tell me something. I will, sir. I will come back to you, sir. I want to have the opening comments with Syed Abbas. He's just joined us. Syed Abbas, why do some political parties downplay this entire threat? Is there a jihadi threat in South India or not? Syed Abbas.
Firstly, Deepti, I truly believe it always has to be the nation first. I've always believed in Hubbul Watan. Live for the country, love for the country, and give your life for the country. That is the ethos of humanity. Also, as a matter of fact, Deepti, we need to understand any political party that comes out and about, which wants to give any political patronage to any terrorist or terror accused, is absolutely wrong and must be highly condemnable. And we, the people of this country, must understand that we must deal with terrorism with iron gloves, iron fists. That is the only way to go. Be it our national agencies or with security interests, must and
but Syed, has the JDS done that?
Full enforcement accordingly.
Syed, has the JDS done that? It's rich that we come on television debates, we say this should happen, that should happen, and we think, people will forget what happened in the past. Even yesterday on our debate, we reiterated what the JDS had to say about the PFI, how they batted for the PFI. So there is a real problem.
Be it the JDS.
Syed.
Deepti, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Be it the JDS or the Congress or the BJP here in Karnataka must and should understand there is absolutely no need to back a PFI or SDPI. These are radical organizations, and I am one of the first panelists on Republic TV to call out for their ban. And no political party whatsoever for any voter appeasement should support them. The only interest every Indian true to its blood must have to live and rise for this country. This is our motherland. That is all. Let me tell you, and those people who name terrorists...
Then why does the opposition read politics into any crackdown that we see at a national level? Now, because again, you are being coy about it, so I'll reiterate this comment. What we heard from the JDS leader H.D. Kumaraswamy, when there was a raid on PFI leaders, he said government should reveal reasons. Because he said there is politics, there is agenda. And you said this is all linked to the polls.
Firstly, Deepti, I am no supporter of Kumaraswamy or JDS. As a matter of fact, many a times I've challenged the JDS to come out and support the ban on the SDPI and PFI. There is no point of making hypocritical statements that we love our motherland and do nothing about it. Be it a Kumaraswamy, be it Basuraj Bommai or Sidramaya or D.K. Shiv Kumar of the Congress.
So the JDS, you think, should revisit that position?
Deal terrorists with IMF.
They should support the center against this fight against terror. All of you should go all out.
Absolutely.
You know, not look at us versus them or say there is no jihadi threat.
Deepti, we must understand one thing very, very clearly. Interest of our nation is prima facie here. Nothing matters to us more. Political parties come and go. But it is the safety, the security of India which matters to us and nothing else. Keep those dirty politics in your respective political party. But to us, the state, the center, the federal structure
who plays that dirty
India
politics? You know, Syed,
I am together and counter terrorism head on.
I'm a little at a loss of words because, you know, I have seen that. We've seen those responses, whether it's a JDS, it's a Congress. There is always an agenda. You know, when you see the BJP doing something, they will say it's a saffron agenda. And that is the truth. I mean, there is a long list of netas and the kind of comments when it comes to dealing with terror. Syed.
The fact of the matter is the same lines, you know. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji once said, "Matbhed hona chahiye, manbhed nahi." On matters of national security, national interest, I plead as coming from the land of Karnataka, from the land of Basavanna and Kuvempu, that these political parties, be it a BJP, TMC, or even DMK, must and should understand they need to cut across party lines and counter terrorism.
Perhaps you're having a change of heart, which is a good thing. I think you're having a change of heart, which is a good thing. Captain Ganesh Karnik, sir, you wanted to come in.
Day one as a panelist on Republic TV and its media network.
I want to compliment Syed for this wonderful remark that he has made. If cutting across party lines, if this is the statement made in public, that come what may, against terrorism, we have only one voice. It is nation first. And we condemn anybody trying to attack the national integrity. The whole country stands united. Let me see it happening in this country. There should be no political patronage by any political party, any anti-national activity. Because of this divided stand, somebody is playing around. And we must appreciate this. And again, you ask me why I am enraged. I am enraged today because instead of finding out the root cause for this terrorist attack, we are all trying to find fault with the police system. Yes, there can be lapses. We shall come together. We'll work together. We'll try to strengthen our system. But that should not be the excuse to say that this act can be excused because there was some security failure. If there is security failure, we'll correct it. We'll improve it. But we all should stand united to fight against this terrorism, which is against our national interest. There cannot be political differences with any political party. I truly compliment Syed because from that community, the Islamic radicalization, he has taken real courage to come and publicly condemn this. I request all the political parties condemn terrorism, whoever has done it. Stand united. And let us fight united. India alone.
Captain Saab, it's a little easier for Syed because he at times will, bat for the JDS. Sometimes he's batting for the Congress, sometimes for the Aam Aadmi Party. What is unfortunate is that we do not have a political party representative. In fact, we were supposed to have a JDS representative, but because of technical issues, we haven't been able to get him on air. But this is a question that should be asked of all political parties. Yes, Syed, before I come to you, Jagdish, I was just reading the kind of comments that have been made. Syed, I'm going to come back to you and Captain Karnik also. Jagdish, when the PFI was banned, CPIM and the Congress said, crackdown also on the RSS, ban also the RSS. So there is a good amount of politics that is always and always played on dealing with terror.
See, my answer is PFI should have been banned long time back. See, when the governor of the state is saying PFI is an organization that is sending terrorists to other countries on year back, I was expecting the government, I'm expecting the central government to ban PFI long time back. Because why
you
was
run
it
with
waiting?
the hare,
Why was it waiting
Jagdish,
for
and you hunt with the hound. You know, when the PFI is banned, Sri Ram, isn't it true? Then they will see motives. And when it is not banned, they will say, oh, you are responsible, go and do this. But when it comes to, you as in the political parties, they do not take a position. They actually go soft, Sri Ram.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, there have been complaints on PFI for so long. They have been, the governor of the state, the governor of the state says something about the organization. We should take it seriously.
NIA, everything should be done by the Home Ministry, and there is no accountability or responsibility. Jagdish jumps and says Karnataka, it's an intelligent failure, but Jagdish says nothing such thing happened in Tamil Nadu. Please be honest. Please take a strong position against terrorism, no matter whichever government it is. And I really welcome Syed's statement.
Jagdish, why don't you say this? There was an intel failure in Tamil Nadu. In spite of this incident, in spite of some very clear links, that were out in the public domain, MK Stalin refused to say that this is an act of terror.
See, first of all, yes, there is an intel failure in Tamil Nadu. I agree to that. I'm not like Sri Ram who would just say something selectively. Okay, there is an intel failure.
So have heads rolled?
What I'm saying is...
Have heads rolled?
Just what I'm saying is...
rolled?
Sorry? See the case,
have heads rolled? Has the Home Minister been sacked, or has the Home Minister resigned there?
It's an act of terrorism. He made sure it's an act. He made sure that he wrote in the letter.
There were commendation certificates, as far as I remember, there were commendation certificates, Sri Ram, and Captain Karnik can come in on this, that were actually given to the police team that initially said that this is a cylinder blast. Captain Karnik. That is what was said. There were commendation certificates given. That's how you deal with terror.
I will not comment on this particular, because I myself wore the uniform, and 100% security is in a wild imagination. I have respect for my armed force people and people who wear uniform. There can be lapses, will improve definitely. But don't take this debate to point fingers at the security forces, whether it is Tamil Nadu or whether it is, there will be lapses. I understand there will be lapses. But that should not be the excuse. If the nation and the political parties stand together with the security forces, I think we can contain this menace. Because of these irresponsible debates where
Captain Karnik, sir, very humbly and very respectfully, sir, I again disagree. India has the best police force. We have the best investigative agencies. Someone like a Sharik who was accused of putting out this graffiti in 2020, there is not one, but there are two UAPA, the very stringent UAPA cases against this man. He's out on bail. There is zero surveillance. He's not under anyone's radar. He's crisscrossing state boundaries, sir. He's assembling a bomb.
I told you.
A reality that has to be accepted, and we have to ensure it's not repeated, Captain Karnik.
We will.
It's a very, very serious issue, sir.
Yes, it's a very serious issue. The security has to be tightened, and we need to bring in more, measures to control all these kind of activities. But today we are not talking of the security labs. We are talking of terrorist attack. And this terrorist attack has a sinister design, not only in our state, in the entire country, in the entire world. And we should stay united. Today, if you say that there is a security lapse and you give it an excuse, then I think we are sending a wrong signal. We are actually trying to...
No, it's no excuse, sir. It's absolutely no excuse. That is why Republic will call out every political party that is guilty of this, no matter which political party that is, whether it's in Tamil Nadu, whether it's in Karnataka. There are relevant questions and very worrying questions that are being raised. But thank you all, gentlemen, for taking those questions and for your pieces of wisdom. And this, remember, will be our top focus. Arnab is also debating this later tonight. But right now, when you talk of the fight against terror, there is also a fight that India has been dealing with, Shavan, when it comes to a man called Zakir Naik. The Enforcement Directorate wants him, the NI wants him, but where is this man right now?
Well, in fact, he's been given that red carpet attending the FIFA World Cup. Questions once again being raised that are countries which have seen terrorism up front, are they willing to deal with a man called Zakir Naik? a hate preacher who's at the end of the day been accused of links with terror suspects. Let's not forget what has happened in Sri Lanka, the Easter bombings, and also the Dhaka bombings where his name has essentially surfaced. But what has really transpired is that he's now being invited to Qatar, where he would be delivering lectures on the sidelines of the World Cup. The bigger question here is that can India just watch as Zakir Naik gets a free run in Qatar? Here are the details and then we debate.
A man wanted in India for his hate speeches. A fugitive who is accused of money laundering. This man, Zakir Naik, is a special invitee in Qatar for the biggest sporting event, FIFA World Cup.
So there are reports now that emerge that actually say that Zakir Naik has been invited to the FIFA World Cup. Are these reports true?